Hi, thank you for coming today. I'm Mitch.
Hi, I'm Roz.
Nice to meet you. We're going to just have a seat right here.
Okay.
So, how has your day been up until now?
Well, I worked a lot today and I was excited to come to this job interview because I really like the concerts and I really want to be part of it. So, yeah.
Oh,
Excited.
nice. That's great. So, we talked over the phone, and I told you kind of what the job description is, and we also had it posted out there, so you can read it over again. Did you have any questions about the job description?
Not at this time.
Okay. And is there anything preventing you from performing any of the responsibilities that we ask?
I don't know, like if I'm like too thrilled on like having to clean up like blood and vomit, but I guess that kind of just goes along with the job and all that. So.
Yeah, unfortunately, some people just party a bit too hard in that, or they have just small children that get too excited.
Yeah.
So, I have a couple more questions I want to ask you.
Okay.
The next one that we have for you is, how would your best friend describe you?
A partier. Like I like to, be the life of the party and just enjoy life and at the moment and all that. So in a way, I guess like the personalities would be like outgoing and fun and all that jazz.
Okay. So, may I call your best friend and see how they describe you?
I don't know if I put them down as a reference or whatever, but yeah, I can give that information to you after the interview.
Okay. Great. So, what would you say your two greatest weaknesses are?
My weaknesses? I feel like procrastination is sometimes a weakness. Just, I kind of just prolong things. I'm like, oh, I'll just do that later, or do that later. And then I think another weakness is like I worry about things. Like make sure that I got it in on time, even though like I was procrastinating. So it's a double negative in a way. But I really forwarded to like this job, and I don't think I would like worry or have like any procrastination about it. So.
Okay. So, going along with that question is, how do you alleviate stress?
I like to just like after like going to work, I come home and just like Netflix or Hulu and all that. Also, along with that, I like to like go on walks to help with like the stress.
Oh, good. There's actually a lot of people in the office that they love going outside and walking around and that.
Oh, cool. Maybe we can be walking buddies or something like that.
Yeah. It, that would actually be really fun.
Yeah.
So, what are your short and long-term goals?
What was that?
Sorry. What are your short and long-term goals?
So how short do you want?
So, maybe.
And like also like what's the long terms?
Oh,
Like what's the year range that you want?
that's an excellent question. So for short term, kind of what you want to be doing in the next couple of days, or even what you want to be doing after this interview. And then for long term goals, kind of maybe a year or more into the future?
So I guess for the short term goal, we'll probably just be able to like find a job that I really enjoy, and be able to make that into a career. And then like long term, probably will be, finishing up school and be able to, just kind of move on with like for my degree and all that.
Oh, okay, so what degree are you going for?
Event planning, and so I feel like this is like in the right field.
Okay. So what part, if you don't mind me asking, what part of event planning do you really like?
I think it's probably during the event is happening and seeing, just like how things are going through, like following through and not following through, but like getting together and seeing like the clients, participating in the activities that you had planned, and then just seeing their enjoyment of the activity.
Great. And you'll be witnessing a lot of that with a bunch of our concert series.
Okay.
Which falls right into what type of work environment do you prefer?
Oh, well, what? Can you expand on more of that question, please?
Sure. So the work environment that we have it's usually loud, it's usually rambunctious, and that just because it's a band that the people come to, and they really enjoy that. So there may be some mosh pitting going on, and also just some other activities. So it's going to be loud, bright, and exciting.
I'm used to like that type of environment, so I would be fine with like that work environment. So yeah.
Okay. Nice. So, like I mentioned before, we do have some mosh pits, and once in a while there are some fights, and part of the job duties is to help with the security of it. So, what is your typical way of dealing with conflict?
I would, like if I'm breaking up a fight and all that, I would take one person and aside, kind of chat with them and see what the problem is, and then go to the other person, see what the chat is, and then be able to compromise the situation, be able to make it where it's more of a positive atmosphere than like a negative.
Really likes that answer. Do you have a story to go along with how you deal with conflict?
Not particular to that example, what I just gave. So I worked for a company with people with disabilities, and I was managing at the time, and I kind of struggled in making sure there was gloves and all that for this individual because we had to change adult briefs. And anyways, the staff was like, "I'm going to talk to your boss and all that," and I was like, "That's fine." But I will, and I'll let my boss know that about the situation as well. So anyways, I talked to my boss, and we came to a conclusion that like, if we were opening the last box, the staff need to notify me, so then I can make sure that's on the list, to make sure that we always have gloves in the house.
Great. Oh, I really liked how you were able to see the problem and then able to make sure that it was reasonably resolved.
Mm-hmm.
Great. Which that actually leads to our next question that we have, which what was a major obstacle you were able to overcome in the past year?
Within the past year, okay, so kind of going along with that, like that previous job I was telling you about, So I kind of got upset with my staff saying that like they were leaving the trash cans out on the road and they were just sitting there in the house and like they could have brought it in and all that, especially bringing individuals in from day program. Anyways, I sent out a kind of really rude text, and then I had a staff come back, responding back saying like, well, why do you have to tell day program about all this drama when like they're not part of this? And I was like, oh my gosh. So anyways, I just talked to my boss, like how I handled the situation, and they were able to give me some feedback saying like I can type out the text message, and then let it sit for like 20 minutes until I'm cooled off, and then read through it, and then be able to change the wording if I needed to. And so I figured, and then like so when I've came up to a situation like that before, like again, or in that type of scenario, I kind of got frustrated, typed up something, waited to send it, waited like 20 minutes, and then read it again, and then I was like, oh, that's a little too harsh, and then fixed the wording where it was more professional and more understanding of where I was trying to come from. So